Our next conference championship game takes us out to Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho, the bluest field you'll ever see in all of football, where the number 20 UNLV Rebels come into town to take on the number 10 Boise State Broncos. Friday night kickoff at 8 p.m. on Fox. Boise currently favored in this one by 4. Brad, so many storylines revolving this game, playoff implications for both. If UNLV can get the upset, they potentially get a group of 5 bid into the playoff over Boise State. Ashton Jeanty first, Haj Malik Williams, who has made a significant jump this year after the departure of their former quarterback who wanted more NIL money. Brad, I mean, I can't say much more except for, shame on UNLV for blocking Break the Huddle on Twitter. I don't know why. We picked you every time. But here we stand, Brad. I don't know if that plays a part in who you pick, but I'll turn it over to you. Thoughts on this game and who comes out on top to win the Mountain West Conference Championship?
Absolutely, Nate. Maybe my favorite conference championship matchup this weekend. Of course, we're filming on this is Wednesday night, and this episode, will debut later on this week. But watching the playoff rankings last night, of course, Boise right now favored to get that first round bye. This is such a good football team, and we've talked about UNLV a lot this season. I'm going to say it again. I know I'm repeating myself. Just a huge fan of Barry Odom and the job he's done.
Yep.
And just a real quick comment here. I know we had some UNLV fans comment on the video. They're really hoping they can keep him and Brendan Marion. And hey, I wish that for you guys. Don't think it's going to happen with Brendan Marion. I think he's going to be moving on, but he is one of the hot names at offensive coordinator. So going to be interesting to see those moves. Nate, you mentioned the Jeanty versus Haj Malik Williams showdown. That is really probably the biggest storyline. Nate, I got to be honest, I've been really, really impressed with Boise State quarterback Maddox Madsen. He has done just an incredible job. Granted, he's got one of the best players in the country in the backfield with him, but this guy's just solid. He's not the biggest guy. He's about the size of Stetson Bennett, but he's thrown for 2,500 yards. He takes care of the football, only 3 interceptions this year. And everyone assumed that the USC transfer, and his name is slipping my mind right now, but everyone assumed he was going to be the starting quarterback, and Maddox Madsen just beat him out in preseason camp and has done just a fantastic job. So hats off to him. Obviously Jeanty gets the press clippings. He gets, all the media, but Maddox Madsen has really been a big star. But Nate, I think the big thing, when it comes down to this matchup on Friday night, we know UNLV is going to run this very, very fun, as they call it, the go-go offense. Something that stands out to me, and these are not tackles for loss, but Nate, Boise State, this is incredible. 45 sacks on the year. And, that is obviously a team that does a really, really good job of getting after the quarterback. But something that stands out to me is they create havoc on defense. And, you look at the 45 sacks, that means this team is good at getting tackles for loss. And I think that's going to play a part. I think, UNLV is going to take some shots. They're going to, be very, very creative in their play calling. But I think ultimately it's this Boise State front 4 and the front 7 that ultimately is the difference in this game. I think Ashton Jeanty obviously probably gets at least 25 carries. I'm going to say he's going to probably get at least 35 carries. They're going to put it on him, and the Broncos win an extremely close one.
Yeah, Brad, the last time these two teams faced off early on in the year, Boise State edged out 29-24 in Las Vegas. And that was a close matchup. Granted, UNLV was at home. Now, Boise State is on a huge run right now, 11-1 overall, 10-game win streak, 7-0 in the Mountain West, and then UNLV 10-2, 6-1 in conference. One guy that I want to stand out from the others, we can talk about Haj Malik, we can talk about Ricky White, we can talk about Ashton Jeanty, but one of the most underrated players in this game has to be linebacker of UNLV, Jackson Woodward, a transfer from Arkansas, recently named the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year, 84 tackles, 9 for a loss, and 3.5 sacks, and 4 interceptions as a linebacker, Brad. This guy's played outstanding. And that's what's going to have to happen for this game to be close again for UNLV. They're going to have to put pressure, put more people in the box, and dare a guy like like you mentioned, Madsen, they're going to have to dare him to throw it down the field. And then on the other side, for Boise State on the defensive side, Jaden Virgin, this guy has been an absolute dominant defensive lineman for a very good defensive front for Boise State, recording 9 sacks and 8 tackles for a loss this year. He's contributed significantly to the team's defensive prowess. So, look, this is going to be a tough matchup. To your point, one of my favorite games of the weekend. I say it's hard to beat a team twice, but in this case, I'm going to say that Boise State beats UNLV twice. Also, again, it has nothing to do with UNLV blocking us on Twitter, but it's going to be hard to block against Ashton Jeanty as well. And I just think that they have the more physical dominance up front. And I think that's what wins conference championships. And I think that's what wins Boise State this Mountain West Conference Championship come Friday night. Let us know down in the comments who you think is going to come out on top to win the Mountain West Conference on Fox.